Hello everybody, welcome to Kreets Football. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are going to be talking about FC Barcelona's run of bad form. What's going on at Barcelona? What's going on there? We're going to be taking a look at that. They've lost their last two matches. But before we talk about Barcelona, let's talk about Wolves versus Arsenal. It's an advanced match day 31 fixture in the Premier League. Arsenal are going to the bottom team in the Premier League and they will be hoping to get all 3 points. This one is a must win for Arteta's men. They just won their last FA Cup match against Wigan in a convincing 4-0 win against Wigan at the Emirates, but now they are going to Wolves. It's going to be an interesting one. They need all 3 points in order to put some distance between themselves and Manchester City. The last time Arsenal met Wolves had to score all 3 goals in that match. It ended Arsenal 2, Wolves 1, and it was Wolves scoring all goals. So there were 2 own goals in that match for Arsenal to win that one. Arsenal need to really win this match before they head to the North London derby at the weekend. Let me know your predictions about Wolves versus Arsenal, a must-win match for Arsenal. Let me know your predictions about this one in the comment section. Like, follow, and subscribe to Kreets Football for more football content. It's free and it will help me out. Okay, now let's talk about Barcelona. FC Barca, they've lost their last 2 matches in the La Liga against Girona and also in the Copa del Rey against Atletico Madrid. It's been dramatic losses for FC Barcelona. We are starting to see a pattern emerge and it's very difficult to just ignore it. Let's talk about what's going on with FC Barcelona. They've now considered the lead at the top of the La Liga table to Real Madrid with 14 matches to go. It's going to be hard to come back from that one because Real Madrid right now are looking hot. They've won their last 5 La Liga matches in a row. It's not just about the losing matches. It's not just about the fact that they are losing matches, FC Barcelona, but it's the manner in which they are losing them. It's been dramatic. And so let's talk about some of the things that's happening. They've been conceding a lot of goals. They've now conceded 25 goals in the La Liga this season. 4 more than Atletico Madrid and 6 more than Real Madrid. That's dramatic. And the last 2 games, they've been more dramatic with Girona 2-1 and the 4-0 thrashing by Atletico Madrid in the Copa del Rey. And both matches were very similar in many respects. The first half against Atletico Madrid was probably their worst performance in recent times, conceding 4 goals in the first half. And what really happened in that match? They lost critical moments in those transitions. They were struggling to cope with movement between the lines by Atletico Madrid players and they were punished. They were punished by Atleti in that match. Against Girona, it was very similar. They conceded 9 shots on target and they only had 4 of theirs. So while they got a lot of possession in that match, they were struggling to make impact in front of goal. We know Hansi Flick's high-line system of defense. And that's not a problem in itself because it has helped them score lots of goals. But the problem is that it's notorious for conceding goals as well. Hansi Flick's side, FC Barcelona, have scored 11 more goals than Real Madrid this season. So they are banging goals. But the problem is that that's not sustainable. If your defense is not compact, there are matches where you would not outscore your opponents. And what would happen in those matches is that you would suffer. And that's what happened against Atletico Madrid and against Girona. And we've had an opposite criticism for Arsenal where they cannot score lots of goals. They are very compact in defense. They hardly concede goals, but they have the issue that they cannot score goals. They are not scoring enough goals and they are not able to break down low blocks and very tight defenses. And what would happen in those matches is that you would be able to defend your box properly, but in the other box you're not making an impact. And that's why Arsenal have seen so many draws in this season. And the opposite is true for Barcelona. The problem that they are seeing is that there's a lack of protection once that eye line is broken. And that's what we have seen. opponents bypass that first pass, and then you see players like Koundé and Arojo, they are often left defending very wide spaces, and that creates numerical equality. So there's equal number of defenders to opposition attack, and that gives disadvantages in defensive transitions, which is exactly where Barca have been punished this season. This is so critical to what's happening at Barcelona. But on top of that, the core issue that Barcelona is experiencing this season and in very recent times is their defensive struggles that begin in midfield. Pedri dealing with injuries, Frankie de Jong unavailable for key matches, Rafinha out for a while. Barca have lost their ability to control matches, and that's what they do the best. These boys are able to control matches, so injuries has really affected them. But when the midfield cannot slow game down, the defense ends up absorbing lots of pressure, and what would happen? It's suffering. No backline can sustain an incompact defense. The reality is that injuries matter. Many clubs have suffered lots of injuries this season. Arsenal have suffered injuries, Chelsea, Manchester City, and many other clubs have suffered lots of injuries. We saw Aston Villa had a very nice run of form until they had key injuries, and that really affected them. Injuries have come to stay with lots of matches that have been played all over Europe. But when those injuries come, adaptation matters. They need to change their game. They need to be able to adapt. Lamine Yamal needs to step up and put in top-notch performances. Ferran Torres, Fermin Lopez, they need to do better if they are going to get anything this season. FC Barcelona, they have to wake up. There needs to be changes during the match to change the tactics to make it happen for FC Barcelona. They need better game management. They have to know when to slow games down. When chaos is not the answer, but control is the answer. And we saw this very vividly in their semi-final match in the Champions League last season against Inter Milan. They have to control matches. Not everything is chaos. Not everything is going ahead and scoring goals. Sometimes you need to control things. They have to protect central areas, either tactically or by changing personnel. Because if they restore midfield, then they restore defense, and their numbers would improve. But I want to hear from you what you think is going on with FC Barcelona. Do you think they can improve? Do you think they can still get back on top of the table? Do you think this La Liga is theirs? And I know that Atletico Madrid coming to the second leg of the Copa del Rey, they would put everything in. If there's any team that can score 4 goals against Atletico Madrid, it's FC Barcelona. But do you think they can do it? Do you think they can do it successfully going forward and not concede going backwards? That's going to be the big question of the day in the second leg of the Copa del Rey. That's something we are looking forward to. Let me know in the comments what you think about these matches. Let's end it here. We are looking forward to Wolves versus Arsenal. Let me know your predictions about that one. Let me know your thoughts about Barcelona's struggle. Do you think it's key players that are not in form, or do you think it's something that's happening tactically that Hansi Flick needs to improve on? Let me know your thoughts about those struggles. Thank you so much for listening. Like, follow, and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. Peace out.